All right, let's go ahead and get started. Rotations is the topic, and we are, which again means it's going to be three-person. There are no rotations in a two-person game, even though most of the clips we show are all three-person anyway. But next month, we will be doing two-person mechanics, so it'll be all two-person. So that's kind of a trade-off that we're going to have. Today is all three-person for those that like the two-person commentary. All right, so rotations, what to do, what not to do, what to look for before rotation. Hopefully I've got some good examples that help. Let's start with this one. All right, now, most of these aren't going to have a whistle. Well, some of them will, because that's how the play ends. But we're not worried about the call. We're worried about the rotation, the positions of the officials, and the rotation that happened or didn't happen. This one had a rotation. Watch it again fast, and then we'll discuss it. Okay, what happened? Who can tell me what happened on this?
The lead was moving and he didn't get a good look at it because he never stopped moving to see the play.
That's right. A foul happened. I think a foul happened, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and the lead didn't have a whistle because the lead was rotating. And I'm not saying you can't see fouls or action or contact when you're moving, but it is more difficult. So should the lead had started a rotation on this?
No. At that point, he's got to trust his partner. Doesn't he have to trust his center?
Right now, the whistle came late. The old center, new trail was waiting for the lead to get it. He didn't get it. But let's break this down. All right. Where is the ball right now?
It's table side.
Whose area? Center's area, right?
Centers, yep.
And the center is watching the ball in that competitive matchup, yeah?
Yes.
I don't know how great that angle is he has. Maybe he can move up or down a little, but he is watching the ball. All right, but where are all the other players?
On the other side of the court.
They're all of them are on the other side of the court. So the center really only has to watch the ball. He doesn't even have anything in his secondary, right? Everybody sees that?
Yes.
Yes.
So at this particular moment, and it looks like the lead is content. At this particular moment, there is absolutely no reason to rotate. Do we agree?
Yes. We agree.
Okay. Now, one of the cues, I didn't mark this in here on this video, but one of the cues to look for when considering a rotation is, did the ball penetrate the free throw line extended? Okay, not the entire matchup, but the ball. Now, I know as a lead, we're not looking at the ball and saying, oh, that came down. But a general idea, and here it looks like the ball is a bit high. Do we agree with that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so right now there's absolutely nothing that I can see that would make me as a lead say, oh, maybe we want to rotate here. Yes?
I agree.
All right. All the players are on that court, so we want to have two officials with the majority of the players. Okay, so as this plays out, he passes the ball into the post. What was one of the cues that I said we should look for when deciding when to rotate?
Below the free throw
When
line.
it passes the free throw line at center.
All right, now the ball definitely is below the free throw line. Another part of that is once it gets below the free throw line, you want it to settle. What does that mean? What does settle mean? It simply means it's not being passed around back and forth because you could pass it below the free throw line extended, and then it gets passed right back out. So you want it to settle 1 or 2 seconds of it being down there. All right. So right now the lead may say, and it looks like he's taking a small step. Okay, it's down below the free throw line. I may want to close down.
That's what he should do.
Right? And once you close down, you can then decide whether you want to rotate. But when you close down, especially on a play like this, where the ball gets passed into the post, you need to wait. And you need to assess what is going to happen. Is he going to dribble, or is he going to make a drive to the basket? The lead is already starting to take off. Do we all see that?
Yep.
But if he would have just waited, he would have seen that the player here is going to drive to the basket. And the mechanics book is clear. They say if there is a drive to the basket or a try for a goal, you can reverse your course and back out of a rotation. Even if you've already started the rotation, you can back out. And you probably should back out. Now, luckily, the old center new trail got that foul, but that could have been missed. But do we all understand that concept? Did everybody follow that along?
Yep.
All right. Let's try another video. Here's another back out video. Everybody saw that, right? I'm going to play it again. Watch the officials and their positioning and the rotation. All right.
So when the shot went up, he should have gone the other way.
Right. So the ball is, I'm going to back it up. The ball is down below the free throw line extended. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, cue number 1. And he's kind of dribbling it around. He's dribbling it around. So it's kind of settling. There's, I don't know, 6 players, 7 players on that side of the court. I think this is a good close down and possible rotation. Do we agree, or does anyone say, no, I'm still not rotating at this point?
No, he should start rotating right now for sure.
I think he needs to get over there, and he does. He makes a nice move, right? And he doesn't move. You don't have to run across. You just have to move with some purpose. You need to give a little swift movement, but it doesn't have to be a run. But as soon as that shot attempt goes up, and the official then goes, oh, wait, he just shot the ball. He's almost all the way across the lane, is he not?
He's halfway through for sure.
But he can still, the rotation is not completed until he reaches all the way across the lane. Once he gets past that far lane line, then the rotation is completed. But all the way up to that point, it's not a complete rotation. And so then he may recognize and go back. And here he probably should go back. Why should he probably go back even though he was almost all the way across the lane?
I mean, he's going
to have an idea why you would want to back out. Why not just go through, just force it through? He's already there. He's almost all the way over. Why not just do it?
He's got to watch those rebounders.
He's got to watch the rebounders.
He's going to have to watch for a potential for a putback.
So he has to watch all the action that happens on a shot, on a rebound. And when he's moving across the lane, it's more difficult to do. But I think there's one more important reason why.
I'll tell you why, too.
Let's hear it.
Because that was me. And I'll tell you why. I was going through and I'm like, uh-oh. And I should have went back because at that point, your partners do not see you rotating maybe because they're watching the shot or the potential foul. So I should have went back.
That is exactly right. So I think the main reason, in my mind at least, when a shot goes up, everybody goes into shot mode, right? The trail, the center, they're watching the arc, they're looking for basket interference, maybe a few other things. They're not looking to see, oh, a rotation just happened. I better get in position in case we go the other way. And then if it does go the other way and nobody sees the rotation, now you've got a messed up rotation, right? And you end up getting with 2 trails or 2 leads. Let me show an example of that. Here's a good example as to what can happen if you do rotate, if you force the rotation through after a shot or a drive to the basket. The first one, he pulls out, exactly what we say, right? Perfect. He got almost all the way across, but yet he pulls back out. Goes the other way. Rotation happens during a drive to the basket. And one of the officials did not recognize the rotation. And we end up with 2 leads. Now, they fixed it quickly. But do you see how that can happen? Here,
Oh, yeah.
come on. Here he comes all the way. Look at that. I mean, he is basically completed, is he not? He's like almost there. You could say, well, why don't you just do that? Well, look at the trail. The trail's not coming down either. When the lead closes down, the trail is also supposed to close down. Why? So when the lead actually rotates, the trail is rotating and moving into their position right away. So it's as seamless of a change of positions as possible. So looks like the trail here is not looking for it. And then it gets missed. And that trail knows I got to get down his lead. All right. Now, right here is when the rotation starts again. Okay. So he started his rotation and I'm okay with that. Let's back up a little. The ball is down below the free throw line. All 3 officials are in the front court. You do not want to rotate if you're in a transition and someone's still in the back court. All right. So all 3 officials are in the front court. He closes down. Looks like he kind of goes in for a shot and says, nope, I'm pulling it out. So he closes down and then he says, all right, yeah, I'm going to come across, which I think is a good decision. This is a good time to rotate. All right. But then what starts to happen here?
Drive to the basket.
He starts to drive to the basket. And the lead is still not across. He can go back and wait for that drive to finish. And probably he should have. Now, if you can see the center, he sees the rotation right away. And the more you work with a crew, when you work with the same guys game after game after game, those kind of awkward rotations, late rotations, rushed rotations, forced rotations are picked up easier by your partners because you work with each other multiple games. You know how everybody works. But when you're working with someone who is new to your crew, new to you, not necessarily new as an official, they may not pick that up. They don't know how you officiate. My partner comes across very quickly. Your partner maybe moves a little bit slower. If we switch the partners and I see him kind of moseying over, I may not think he's going to rotate because it doesn't look like he's moving with purpose. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
All right. Let's watch this one. All right, I'm going to play it again. Watch the officials and the rotation or lack of rotation and tell me, should there have been one here or were we okay with not rotating? Okay, now nothing happened, right? It was just kind of a back and forth, but let's analyze and see what happens here.
Got a lot of bodies on the far side there.
Okay. I'm going to back it up a little bit. Watch the lead. Okay, ball goes in. It's close to, it's probably not breaking the free throw line, but it's close to it. You might want to think about possibly closing down, which the lead does. He closes down, yes?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. And then he actually looks like he starts to go. He starts to go. And he's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to stop. I'm going to come back. But look at this. We got post players here. I don't know. I think it was Mike who said most of the guys are on the other side there. You've got the ball and most of the players on the other side of the court. This is an excellent time to rotate. Even though the ball didn't come down below the free throw line extended, that's not the sure-all, bet-all component of a rotation. That's just one of the cues. See, and it's still settled. And if he would have gone over, it would have been fine. And even if the ball comes back up top as it does here, we would now still have 8 guys on one side of the court, which with 2 officials, and 2 guys on the other side with 1 official. That's much better coverage. Do we agree?
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
If I've got to watch 8 people all by myself, even though the ball's over there, that's still pretty hard. I don't know what these 2 are doing here because I got to watch these 2 up here and these 2 in front. I'm kind of half watching. So you want to get as many eyes on most of the players as possible. That's kind of the purpose of a rotation. It's not really, we need to rotate because we want to make sure we get the ball action correct. Although that is part of it. We want to make sure the play with the ball and the action is good. We want to have as many eyes with as many of the players as possible. So our primary coverage areas are in the right spots for where the players are. Any questions at this point? All right. All right, I want you to look. Well, let's just play it first.
For Orr, he was guarding Tristan Hercules for a moment. Final 20 seconds here of the first quarter.
Nashville wants the ball in the middle or wants to force it to the sideline. Look at how the inside foot's up by Williams, trying to keep him.
All right, everybody see that? And play it again.
For Orr, he was guarding Tristan Hercules for a moment. Final 20 seconds here of the first quarter.
Nashville wants the ball in the middle or wants to force it to the sideline. Look at how the inside foot's up by Williams, trying to keep him.
All right, so we've got the ball right here, which is in whose area? Whose primary coverage area is that?
Trail.
Center.
All right,
See,
right, he's in the center's area. The center is watching this play, but that means he can't see all of these players in his area, right?
Oh, there's
Because he's got to look up, out, beyond the front court. He's looking into the back court so he can see that play. So we're going to have to help with these players. Now, this doesn't mean we have to rotate, but we need to now be aware, like, okay, there are 6 players on that side of the court. The ball's still way high. Maybe we should rotate at this point. We're thinking about it. Okay? Let's watch the lead. Okay, the lead's helping out, watching these players. Maybe we should get over there. So he closes down. Starts to rotate over. And stops. Now, where's the ball now?
Middle.
Right in the middle, right?
yeah.
Yes.
Kind of going the other way because he pulled it out. Okay, definitely over here. The center is still watching this play because it just crossed over. But now that it's crossed over and it's not a drive to the basket, the trail can pick it up and the center can focus on those players and the lead can focus on these players here. Is this good coverage for what we have on the court right now?
Yes.
Can the lead, because he's already kind of started his rotation, can he back out or does he have to finish that rotation?
Oh, he can
He
back
did
out.
back out.
He can totally back out. Now, this lead decides not to. He kind of waits and pauses and says, nah, I'm going to go over anyway. but he didn't need to go over. There was no reason, according to where the players are, to where the ball is, our coverage areas were good. He could have gone right back and kept it. It's okay. It doesn't make you look like a weak official when you go halfway in, almost all the way over, and go all the way back. Doesn't mean you're a bad official, a weak official. You didn't read the situation right. It just means you read it. You're still reading it. You're reading it again, and it's changing. So now you're going to go back out because we want to be in the best position to see the most players. So everyone saw that on that play, yes?
Yes.
All right.
Hey, Josh,
Yeah.
I think, the point of emphasis should be, how many players versus the ball. I think sometimes they stress where the ball is and they don't stress how many players are on a side or in an area or whatever. And sometimes that, you focus on the ball, and like in that first one where there was only 2 people in the ball and the middle had it, the center had it, would have been a lot easier to say, okay, there's 8 over here. I got to stay over here.
So it's kind of not a double-edged sword, but to say write it this way, write it that way, because it's not just the players either, right? You could have a ton of players over there, and then they move back, and then move back, and then move back, and they're back and forth. So the game is fluid. The ball can come in, the ball can go out, the ball can come in. So it's kind of all of it together. I don't think it's really just the ball location. I don't think it's just the player location. It is all of it together and reading where should I be, because what are my partners looking at? So I agree that there should be a little more emphasis on, look, you got to move toward the 8 players on that court. You got to, on that side, you got to move over there. You can't let one guy take 8 players. But not every situation is, cookie cutter. So try to talk about all the things we should look for in order to know when to do that. It's not an easy thing. Not an easy thing to do until you start to get used to it. Let's watch this one.
Hands out, slow down as that defensive board was being pulled in anticipation. We're not running.
You're talking about time of possession. How about the patience of Orr? Are they taking some?
I want to play it again.
Hands out, slow down as that defensive board was being pulled in anticipation. We're not running.
You're talking about time of possession. How about the patience of Orr? Are they taking some?
Okay, what do you think? Good, no rotation, or should there have been a rotation?
No, I think that was okay.
Good.
I think that's fine.
Ball is coming up the court. It's on center side, yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Center comes out to officiate, and what does the center have to do? Where is his attention?
Right here. The guy with the ball and the defender.
That's right, looking away from everybody else. So should the lead be thinking about rotating?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes.
He should definitely be thinking about it, right? Doesn't look like he's well, maybe he's taking a step. He's closing down. Okay, now the ball is starting to go away from the center. The center is really, really high. The center is in beyond trail position. We don't want 2 trails, right? The old trail can maybe come down to help if the lead's not rotating over, but the center can release at this point, right? Because they have crossed over the coverage area into now the trails area. So the center can go back, which he ultimately comes down. I think he waits a little too long.
Josh, didn't the center?
Does he have to
count?
finish that count? Does he have to finish? I mean, he's holding that count. He's completing the count basically.
Okay, so now he's finished the count here. He picked it up.
Now he should go.
Okay, yeah, you
Right.
guys are right. So he stayed with it through the count.
Now, once the that's the center, but once the trail, once it passes that halfway point, now you're grabbing the attention of the center and the trail, which has the trail focusing on that action as well. So if I'm the lead, no one's watching the heavy side, the strong side. I think I'm going to stay where he's staying, which is to watch those players over there, because he has 2 sets versus the 1 set on the center side.
So the lead,
You can see the trail is looking at that action now, but who's looking at the players in the corner?
correct, in the corner, in both corners, really.
Right. So if I open up, I can almost see all 3 sets.
At this point, the lead needs to think about rotating, but he needs to assess the scene, right? And he sees that he's got roughly 5-6 guys down on his side, and none of them are really doing anything. The post players are starting to kind of maybe jostle, but he can watch all of them and wait to see what happens with that ball. The ball is so high, it's moving back and forth. A rotation here is not necessary because it may move back again, and then everyone has to move and then move back. So I agree. The lead did a nice job, held his position, and waited for everything to settle back to a normal situation. But we all see that, how the center come way out. They came way out, and that's a normal cue, just like the ball coming below the free throw line. If the center has to come up toward the division line to officiate a play, that's a cue for the lead to possibly rotate, to close down and think about rotate. But it's not a guarantee. Just because the center goes up there doesn't mean the lead has to come over. And it's always the lead's choice. It's always the lead's decision to rotate. Don't let anyone tell you, I mean, they're going to tell you anyway, that, well, the lead makes all rotations except the one case when the center initiates it. No, the center doesn't initiate anything. The center moves in a position to officiate the play, and the lead then says, oh, wait, I think I may have to get over there. And then they initiate the rotation. They're always initiating the rotation, but they're reading the cues on the court everywhere, which again, it's not easy, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. All right. That's a good one.
His 4th rebound tonight. Austin Rager with 9 rebounds already for the Aces.
Here we had a rotation. Now we have another rotation.
Give it up to Rager.
What do you guys think? I'm going to play it again. Good rotation, both of them. One good rotation, the other one not good. Maybe no rotations were needed at all.
4th rebound tonight. Austin Rager with 9 rebounds already for the Aces. Blake Golden will give it up to Rager.
First one might have been premature. Second one was necessary.
Yeah,
Agreed.
because the first one was premature. If he would have waited, you wouldn't have needed either rotation, because he would have still been on the other side of table side of the court.
All right, so it's a transition play, right? We have to wait till all the officials are in the front court, which I'm going to assume they all are. Where is he's coming.
Yeah, he's there.
He's coming. I think he's there.
No, he's there.
All right, now there's quite a bit going on here, but who's got this play right now?
Center.
Center's got it. He's all over it. I don't think we need to rotate yet at this point. And then he passes the ball back out. So now the ball isn't really down in a place where we should rotate. However, there's quite a few guys over there, right? 2, 4, 6, we'll just say 7 guys, where the center is now starting to focus more upward. We have to help out. So in order to help out with these players, because what else does the lead have in his primary area right now?
Post.
Is there
Nobody.
anything in the lead's primary right now?
No, nobody.
Not really. Maybe that guy in the center of the lane, but he's not doing anything. So
Yeah.
who's he going to be watching? Everyone on the other side of the court, right?
Right.
Near the end line. He's going to already be watching them. So I think maybe he didn't have to rotate, but I think this is a good rotation. He's already watching those guys. He might as well come over and watch them all the way in a better angle, a little bit closer. Now it's a fluid game, and the ball starts to kind of play out and the players move around again. Okay. This is the one thing that I really want to point out. The first rotation happened, whether you think it's good, bad, or indifferent, but it happened, right? A lot of officials rotate once and then say, well, I can't rotate again. I just rotated. Now I'm going to look like a schmuck, like I don't know what I'm doing. And that's wrong. If you need a rotation, then you need to rotate. Don't not rotate because you already rotated once, right? And he recognizes the ball is down again below the free throw line, and all the players shifted to that side of the court. Do we agree with that?
Yeah, for sure.
Does he need to get over now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think even more so than the first, is what most of you said. He really needs to get over now, and he does. I think that is a great, great officiating. And maybe when he came over and they all left that side of the court, maybe the official even said, oh, dang it, just rotated and they all left. Like, I shouldn't have rotated. But it doesn't matter. He did. And then it went over, and don't say, well, I'm not going to rotate now because they're just going to shift. No, then rotate again. What I don't like, I don't rotate a ton. I try to rotate when it matters. I try to rotate when I find that there's a purpose or a reason to rotate. And some guys like to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, right? So there's a little bit of difference. Some guys that don't rotate much at all, some guys that rotate a lot. But what I don't like is when a partner that you don't normally work with says, hey, don't rotate so much. You're moving back and forth too much. Let them play basketball. Hey, I get it. You don't want to just go back and forth and back and forth. But at the same time, we are there to officiate the play, right? We want to be in the right spot. So if I need to rotate, and that means I rotated 3 times this side on that one drive, then I rotated 3 times. That's what we needed. You guys agree with that or no?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, when you're taking, when you're being evaluated, I mean, one of the biggest things that the evaluators say is, you're not rotating enough as the lead. I mean, they really, say, look, you could have moved over there. You should have moved over there. If that means moving back, then you move back. But so I totally agree with that. And it's now in my mind much better. That we have to do it.
And rotating is hard to get, especially when you don't have much experience. But even after a couple of years of experience, to really get an understanding of when I should or shouldn't. And we all, no matter how often you do it, we all make a rotation sometimes that ends up being a bad rotation. There's times where we don't rotate thinking it's going to swing around, and we should have rotated. So it happens, but to try to, minimize that as much as possible is the point. All right, here's a good one. I guess this is less about rotations, but because of the rotation.
He was at the 3-point line and kind of just the scoop lob pass. Warren has an 8-point lead now.
They're rolling, man, and Ben Davis, they have to get some kind of offense and get back on the defensive end and stop the momentum that Warren has right now.
Dylan Moore almost has it stolen from behind there, but he gets it back out now to Clay Butler. Now inside to Moore again, pulling it back out.
All right, did you guys see what happened on this play?
The center was John with the coach. And
it looks like it was a transition right after a basket. Maybe they're coming up nice and easy. All right, you can see all 3 officials. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in the proper formation. It looks like the coach might be trying to talk to this guy in his ear. What is the trail doing?
No idea.
What is he doing?
He's basically, looks like he's telling him to be quiet.
Is he maybe trying to help
the
center out to get him away from the coaches?
I don't know.
But if we do see that the lead, I'm going to back up here. The lead comes over and she rotates. Now, because the coaches are in his ear and he's talking to the coaches, whether he's managing them or I don't know what's going on, he doesn't see the rotation, right? And he's still focused on the coaches. He's still focused and he's center and he's center and he's center. This whole time he's center. All this time this play is going on, it doesn't even really look like he's watching play much. He's too worried about the coaches. Okay, but we've got two centers this whole time.
Josh, is the trail given some kind of a signal? Because it looks like he's doing something. It's not like a count. If you take it back,
Yeah, that's what I thought he was doing, a count on this. I don't know. It's great, but no,
See,
I guess he is signaling that this guy to get in the spot.
he's trying to tell him to come over, I guess.
Yeah,
It looks like he was trying to tell him to move out.
yeah,
Okay,
you shouldn't be doing that.
so I'm glad you said that. Even if your partner doesn't recognize a rotation or is in the wrong spot or whatever, doing this across the floor or trying to help looks bad. It makes
Right.
you look bad for doing it. Now, I'm not saying if your partner looks bad, it's on him. He's got to look bad. We don't want anyone to look bad, but it is on him. You've got to pick it up. Now, if I'm the lead and I come over, I might be able to yell, "Hey, Tim, right?" to get his attention, but I'm not going to be waving it up because I've got to watch the play in front of me. That's my job. And if you see your partner across the court is worried with the coaches, then you need to help watch more of the action until you can see that he rotates out. Don't worry about this waving, or it looks bad, especially with video. And then that gets to your assigner, and they could say, well, it's good that you're trying to help him, but what if you missed, some action, some fouls or whatever that may have happened?
Well, the problem was, I mean, the one guy's talking to the coaches and he's not paying attention to the game, and the other guy is trying to pay attention to the ref and get him off. So you have two refs that aren't paying attention.
Exactly right. Exactly right. I want to play one more time. The coaches are definitely in his ear, whether it's good, bad, or whatever. There's too many coaches standing, too many coaches talking, but it looks like the official is trying to manage it. So let him handle it and just help out with the court. You see he's a little preoccupied. Then just help out. Watch the players that he's not watching. He'll come out. Even if you don't know him as an official, you're not sure how he's going to react. He'll eventually come out. They always do. Right? So just don't do that stuff. All right, here's another one where there was a rotation that was missed. And then it transitions the other way. Now, it's not just an older official that doesn't move as well and couldn't get down fast enough, because I'm going to play it again and I'm going to talk while it plays. Because the rotation comes across. All right. Moves pretty swiftly. Ball goes in the air. Rotation is made. Looks like at this point, even though the ball's turned over, I realize, but at this point, looks like everyone's for the most part in good position. Do we agree?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the new trail here, didn't see the rotation. And I know this because and he doesn't run real well, fine. But after the foul is called, what does he do? He thinks he's the center. He thinks he's a center table side. So what does the center table side on a foul do?
Switch with the
person
trail.
who called the foul, because they have to go table side. So he thought he was the center. All right. Now, I'm not trying to knock down on this guy who didn't see. What I want to really bring out here is the new trail. Just go back again. All right. The lead comes across. And I want you to focus on the lead. Keep watching the lead. Running up the court. Catching up. Noticing that he's right on top of his partner. Knows that he's the one who's supposed to go over, but his partner is taking it. So where does he go?
Fills in. fills in the spot.
Why couldn't you go up to your partner and say, hey, you got to go over there? That you're over there. You miss a rotation. Come on down over there.
He did the right thing.
Right? There's no need to do that. Just fill into the spot that's missing. I'm not supposed to go there, but I'm going to go there anyway because nobody is there. Right?
Right.
And I guarantee you, almost everybody in that gym, if not everybody, had no clue that that's a major official blunder. That's a really bad blunder for officials, but I don't think anyone in that gym even noticed. So why bring attention to it is my point. What do you guys think?
I agree. Fill in.
All right, let's do one more. All right, couple things on this. I didn't slow it down. Couple things on this to watch for. What did you guys see? Okay, everyone saw that, right? We now have a rotation. I'm going to back it up. The lead definitely came over. Do you think the lead should have come over?
No.
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 What reason did he come over for?
I don't know.
Because he started coming over, so he kept coming.
All the other players, for the most part, are on the other side, right? The center has complete control of this play. Now, he's moving before all the other players are coming over already. Okay, there's no reason for a rotation in this play whatsoever. No reason at all. Okay, you're putting your crew at a disadvantage by not watching all his players. But now that he's rotated over, the center, who is now the trail, continues with the count and the play because it's still in his primary, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it looks like all the officials have now adjusted to their new position. So why now is the trail continuing to watch this play? Do we see we have two counts on this now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The ball has been passed over. The new center has picked it up. It's in the center's primary.
For sure. Yeah.
The new trail has to let this go. There's no reason now for the trail to watch this play. We've got two sets of eyes on two players. It's just as bad as the official who rotated and leaving all 8 players to one person. Now that official has to watch all 8 players. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Hey, Josh,
Yes.
the official that rotated there too on that last play. Talk about, if you would, about when you're leaving, when you're closing down and going across to rotate, that you're supposed to, I mean, I've always was taught that you're supposed to watch where you leave too. When he's coming across, he's not even looking at all the players on the other side. He's just going across. I mean, you've heard that before, right?
Okay, so you're talking about let's go back. Let's just go back to that play, yes? Okay, so when you rotate, and this doesn't show a lot of the court, but it's good enough. The lead knows that the lead is rotating. Okay? Right? The lead is the only one when it is initiated who knows they're rotating. The other two are going to continue to officiate their old primary until the rotation is complete.
Correct.
When is the rotation complete?
When he gets over.
Once the lead completely crosses the far lane line that he's walking to. Okay, once that completes, then you have new primary coverage areas, but otherwise the primary coverage areas are the same, which means, and this still right here, the center is watching the ball and his defender, right? Now, even though we know, or we've discussed that the lead shouldn't have come over, the lead has decided to come over because he wants to now officiate that play. But he cannot officiate that play fully. He can have it in his secondary, but he cannot fully officiate it until he completes the rotation, which means he needs to continue to watch his old primary as he comes across. Does that make sense?
Right.
Sure.
Because if he completely releases his primary and starts watching that, now we've got two sets of eyes on two players, and the poor old trail has got to watch everybody else.
Yeah, the trail, like you're saying, the trail's watching, the rest 8 players, because the lead's coming across and he's watching the ball and the defensive player.
Yeah, he's not even watching what other area.
Now, usually in a rotation, there's not much happening in the lane. I mean, sometimes you have a post player here.
Right.
In your regular coverage area, which is the reason you are rotating over. You're rotating because there's nothing happening in front of me worth watching. It's all happening over there. I need to get over there. So there's not as much of a transition of power, so to speak, because I'm moving to the action. But if you're going to move away from some of your action to new action, now there's action in both spots, you have to continue until you know that the transition, the rotation is complete. So all the other officials, your two partners, can now see that the rotation has happened, completed, and also adjust their focus. Does that make sense? Is that what you're getting at, Tim?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's important. You can't just say rotate, done, and now I don't need to watch them anymore because they're not in my primary. Well, if he hasn't completed or he doesn't know that the rotation has happened or whatever it may be, we need to help out. All right, let's just let it play out. Watch the officials, watch the rotation or the lack of rotation. What did you guys see?
So the
Some
lead,
indecisiveness.
so the lead stopping right in the middle of the lane.
Yeah.
It looks like the lead, like, oh yeah, I'm going to close down. I think that's excellent. You close down right here, right? The ball is penetrating the free throw line extended, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, has it settled?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to play this real time because look how slow the lead moves. 1, 2, 1. I think I'll kind of, yeah, I'm going to watch the, okay, I'll walk it down. That is not moving with purpose. That is moseying across the line, and we should never, ever rotate with that kind of movement. Okay? Right? And then watch the center. Watch the center. He's officiating, he's officiating. He's like, oh crap. And he has to hustle down.
Yeah, that's how you end up having two players on the baseline.
And that's not fair to the center. Because you kind of went doop, 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 doop. Yeah, I guess I'll go around. And now the center's got to really run to get down there to officiate the play. And it's not fair to the players who want to be officiated properly. It's fair to the old trail new center because he can basically just stand there and watch. So when you rotate, move across the lane. You don't have to sprint. You don't have to run hard. You can walk fast. If you have to run for a particular play, it's okay. But generally speaking, you just want to have a nice, swift walk across the lane. So everyone knows you're coming across and not, is he not, right?
Yeah, and like you say,
fun, right? Does that make it any better? Rotations seem easier now, or you know for sure you don't want to work 3-person after this tonight? That's all I got. Should I find an ending video?
Yeah.
Why not?
Let's find an ending video. How about a flop?
There is no flop.
Is this a foul or a flop? I'm play it fast again. What do you guys think? Is this a foul or a flop?
Flop.
Never even touched
Flop.
it.
Flop
Never even
deal.
touched it.
I mean, it's a good no call. I mean,
I got-
he definitely had position, but he kind of.
Olayed.
Okay,
he
we
didn't let the
agree.
guy hit him.
Can we all agree he has a legal guarding
For
position?
sure, for sure.
Yeah,
right now, yep.
exactly. Yep.
All right, he totally has initial legal guarding position. So now he's in maintain mode, right?
Right.
He's
Mhm.
maintaining his legal guarding position that he has already established. Okay, he's moving backwards. Is that legal to move backwards?
Yes.
Absolutely legal. Can the player just go right through him?
No.
Okay, so he's still legal. Is he allowed to fall down to absorb contact?
Yes.
If in
Yes.
your judgment you think he's trying to absorb contact, is that legal?
No, but he's falling before the contact.
Okay, that's not what I asked though,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, he can fall down to
right?
absorb
If
contact.
I'm trying to absorb the contact because I don't want to get killed, can I fall backwards?
Yes.
Yes.
I sure can. Is it a foul if there isn't any contact?
No.
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 No, and that is the decider in here. He did everything right. He could fall down. I don't know if he was falling because he was flopping or if he was falling to absorb the contact, but that's legal. The problem is there wasn't any contact.
Right.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Go back. Just go back and start it right there. It looks like he stepped on his foot right here. That's what made him fall. Maybe. He's stepping on his foot. Somebody's tripping him right there. He
His
Oh yeah,
teammate?
the
That's his
display
teammate?
right there.
See that?
His teammate.
Is that his
That's what-
teammate or that's that
His
might be the
teammate.
That's his teammate.
That's
That's
his
a
teammate
shoe.
that tripped him.
no, that's the shooter. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah, that's
shooter.
a player.
Yeah, he stepped on his foot. See, that's what made him fall.
If you are going to call a player control foul because he stepped on his foot, causing him to fall down, more power to you.
No, I wouldn't call
That's
anything. I wouldn't call anything. I'm just saying the guy stepped on his foot while he was walking.
Okay, and-
that's what made him fall.
And by rule, Tim, is that a foul? By rule, as it's written.
I would say no.
Yes.
Yes.
Stepping on the guy's
it is.
foot.
If I have a legal guarding position and
Yeah.
and you step
Yeah.
on my foot, causing me to fall down, that's a foul.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, by rule.
I don't
it
think anyone's ever going to call that, nor should I think they should call it. But
is. You want to call that and get scratched? That's fine.
that's a good pickup. All right, well, that's it, guys. Rotations are easy, right?
Not.
They're really not that hard. Rotations ultimately come down to practice. The more games you do with 3-person, the more rotations you make, the easier it becomes, the less you think about it. And then it's just second nature. And now it's not even I should have watched that and I should have went that and I didn't go here. You just do it. Especially, and I know coming up and not having enough experience to have a set crew game in and game out, it's hard. But when you do have a set crew that you work a majority of your games with, it's so nice because you know that your partner's got that. You know your partner's got that. You don't have to worry about, should I rotate? Is he coming? Is he not? I shouldn't go. Because even if you do screw up, your partners that know how you officiate can pick it all up and you guys you're good. Usually. Unless you have 3 guys that work together and they're all terrible. All right, next month, September 15, which again is the 3rd Thursday of the month, 7 o'clock, we're going to do 2-person mechanics, and we're going to talk, try and cover most things in a 2-person game, like switching, free throws, throw-ins, everything relating to a two-person, because a lot of people work two-person and want to know how to do it properly. So we're going to do our best to give a good overview of two-person mechanics. So hopefully most of you can make it.
All right. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
All right,
Thanks, Josh.
good to see you all. Thanks for coming in.